By the way, just to let you know, yeah, that like I'm worried that this is gonna pop. Like, have you not had an accident with any of these yet?
No,
this
but
could pop.
I do give a warning, like, before everyone sits on it, because it seems fragile. I think it's
Proper.
quite sturdy.
This seems proper fragile. I'm not gonna lie.
I used to have these when I was little.
Is it
Yeah.
in your yard?
Yeah, you remember in like the 90s when you had the blow up sofas?
I never had one of them. I never had. Do you know what I had? I had a car bed.
The red
I had one of them.
ones.
It was red and black. I had a car bed. Literally had a car bed.
I remember those. Did you remember Missy Elliott's Cribs episode?
Yes. So do you know what? Oh, I was just talking about that the other day. Just as a quick side note, yeah? Just as a quick side note. Remember that time when what was it? It was Cribs MTV, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? Everyone was showing all these cribs and that they didn't really have, yeah? Mm-hmm. And then remember Redman's crib? Do you ever remember his?
No, what was his like?
So Redman showed his apartment,
Yeah.
and it was hella messy. He had his brethren sleeping on the floor. It just looked like a proper regular apartment, yeah. And everyone laughed at the time. Everyone proper laughed. But when I deeped it now, I'm like, all these other artists, not Missy Elliott, but all these other artists were showing these houses that wasn't even theirs,
Yeah.
that they just rented and that. And then Redman actually showed his real life apartment.
And they're laughing at him.
And we were laughing at him. I don't think we'd laugh today, because I think we'd be able to see through it a little bit. But it was like, right, we all laughed at him, and he was the only real one, other than Missy.
Do you remember they did Cribs UK? They moved it to the UK. And that's when I clocked that they're all renting their apartments, because they're showing these big sort of mansions in London. And I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah,
there's absolutely no way.
Yeah, you don't not getting bread like that. But yeah, going back to the bed thing, yeah. So my bed was kind of like that, but it didn't have, like, Missy had the TV at the thing. Mine wasn't. Mine was like a proper IKEA thing. You had to put the stickers on, whatever it was, yeah. And so like it was a small little bed and whatnot, and that was me. And I just got so much memories with that bed, like, you know. My mum used to do the tooth fairy thing.
Yeah.
So see, like, if my tooth dropped out, whatever, then she would put the thing underneath my pillow or whatever. But then also, because I was quite messy when I was young, I would just throw things like in my bed. And I'll never forget the time my cousins come to my yard, yeah. And like, I think we wanted to play the PlayStation or something like that. But because my mum told me I needed to tidy my room, so I just chucked everything under the covers. Yeah. So anyway, I couldn't remember where I put my PlayStation, and I realised I chucked that
in the bed.
Yeah, it was in the bed.
Right.
So like literally, my cousin is like, only I could go to Chuck's yard, and his PlayStation is in the bed. But yeah, the car bed just did everything for me.
Imagine if it was hidden in the bed, yeah, and someone ran up and jumped on the bed.
Yeah,
and smashed the PlayStation.
Problem. But yeah, car bed. I never had nothing like this in my thing. I never had,
I definitely had a few. But my thing is, and I've spoken about this before on this podcast, I used to pop them.
What, these?
Yeah, so I'd get them and I would just pop them for fun, like get a pen and just go.
So obviously that must have been a bit of a nightmare for your parents.
Yeah, I think they got me a few. Also, on the tooth fairy topic, I honestly put myself off of having children, right?
Go on.
So obviously the tooth fairy is meant to come because your tooth falls out, you put it under your pillow.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell my mum that my tooth had fallen out, and I just put it underneath my pillow. So I think I did it as an experiment because I was suspecting that, like, the tooth fairy wasn't real and she's making it up, right? So I didn't tell her, put it underneath my pillow. In the morning, my tooth's still there. So I go down and I present my tooth to my mum, and I was like, I know the tooth fairy's not real. She was like, well, how do you know that? And I was like, because I put this under my pillow.
And it didn't come?
It didn't come. She didn't know what to do. Her head was gone.
Did she try and revive it the next day by putting a little change underneath there?
I think, no, she did. She brought it the next day, but like by this time it's too late.
I wouldn't. Do you know what I would have done? I wouldn't have done it the next day. I would have said, nah. From what I know, I would have said to my child, look, I don't know this for a fact, but from what I do know, that they don't always, sometimes they can be a bit late because there's a lot of teeth that they need to get round to doing. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you might get it a little bit late. So then I would put it there a week and a half later. Even when the tooth's not there, I'll just keep saying like, have you checked to see if it's there? No, Dad, it's not there. All right, cool. Check tomorrow. Did you check? No, Dad, it's not there. Then a week and a half later, check. Oh, Dad, maybe it is.
Came.
You understand what I'm saying?
Call their bluff.
But yeah, I remembered very quickly that Father Christmas wasn't real because of school. In first school, we had like Father Christmas and that, doing the Christmas thing, whatever. Yeah, we're all mad excited and that, and then we've gone back into class because this was in the assembly hall. So we've gone back to class. I'm doing whatever in class, and I said to my teacher, is it all right if I go to the toilet? Yes, of course you can go to the toilet. So as I've gone to the toilet, and I've walked past the assembly hall, I saw the cleaner, the caretaker, cleaning the hall with half of the Christmas outfit on, Father Christmas
Why
outfit on.
would he do that?
From then, I was like, I couldn't believe it. He had the bottoms on, the top, he didn't have the beard. And then he had like just the cleaning stuff and whatnot, and I'm like, Ross, so all this time it's you. Even in my head, I'm thinking to myself, so you're on TV.
Oh, you thought the cleaner at your school was
everywhere. he's the one.
He's the Father Christmas.
Yes, that's how I saw it. So it wasn't just him he was the one that was on TV. He was everywhere pretending to be Santa Claus.
Also, why is the cleaner still got the costume on when you work in a school with loads of little kids? Surely you might run the risk that someone
dumb.
Like you would see it.
Yeah, that was dumb. Do you know what? Thinking about it now, maybe he was just, like employed to do this job, yeah, and he might have just had something to do like at a certain time, but he still needed to clean. So it was like, you know what? Like, let's just say, for example, he might have had a date at a certain time, like a lunch date or an afternoon date or whatever. So boom, let me just do the Santa Claus thing quickly. Obviously, my main job is that I've got to clean as well. So he's done the job. It's run over because the kids are mad excited, all of that stuff. Then as it's run over, the kids have gone back into class. He needs to quickly thing. So he's quickly done it. Then he's going to change, boom, go and check his gal. But I've just caught him in the process of when he was in there.
Trying to be efficient.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can't knock him for that, but that ruined everything for me.
I caught my mum delivering my presents during the night. When I think I was 8 or 9, and I'm a light sleeper, so anything. I don't know how I'd gone that long without realising. And I just see her creeping in with the presents. But I didn't say anything. I lay there still and just opened my eyes and then shut them. And then in the morning, I went downstairs and I was like, I know Father Christmas isn't real. She's like, how do you know that? And I was just like, I saw you delivering my presents.
And then what did she say?
And then she didn't know what to say. She was like, well, maybe he was just busy. The next year, it's 7 a.m. Where are my presents? They'd slept. My mum forgot to wake up and deliver my presents.
Oh, no.
So I had to go to her room and be like, Mum, Father Christmas hasn't come. She was like, go back to bed and he'll come. 10 minutes later, she rocks up with my present. It's too much responsibility being a parent like that. I think I'd just tell them early on and be like, look.
Yeah, this is what it is.
That's what it is because I can't be bothered.
I think more time now, that maybe the new generation of kids now probably know quite early on that this is just part of a thing.
They probably found out on TikTok or something.
Oh, exactly. Oh my God, exactly. Do you know what? That is nuts actually, because that can destroy everything, not destroy, but make everything just super real for them. Because, like as a kid back in the day, I'm being one of them back in the day people, it's like, you just didn't know anything other than what was just around you really. Mm-hmm. Now you could just do this and I can see what Prince Charles's youths having for Christmas and what's going on in their house.
Yeah.
Or do you understand what I'm saying? Like I could see bare stuff.
I know. Back in the day.
Yeah, when
things were good.
Yeah, back in the exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining me on
problem.
the Citizen Game.
Thanks for enjoying me. Inviting me.
We were mentioning before we started recording that we thought you weren't a gamer, but you have claimed that you used to be.
Okay, do you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not going to say was the gamer. Like, I thought I was until I met gamers.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I never clocked a game. Like, I never clocked one. I used to play games and that was like a thing for us. But I wasn't like the proper... I thought I was until I met gamers, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So what are your top 3 games then that you've ever played?
I love Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was one of my first ones that I played on the Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah, and the thing is, I never had one of them. My cousin had one of them, so I could only play that when I went to his house.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Street Fighter and Tekken.
Oh, I used to love... It was Tekken 3 or 4.
Oh my God. Tekken 3.
Yeah.
Tekken 3.
Was it on
We used to-
PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Was that,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the one I used to play.
We used to batter that. And then like, then I tried to play games like Resident Evil, and it was like, I was so intrigued by Resident Evil, but I just was never that good at it. But I kept giving it a go, but I just wasn't that good at it. Never got to clock it or anything like that.
I loved Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I like those horror,
Yeah, yeah.
like gruesome games. I used to love Silent Hill, which is sort of
Okay.
like a similar thing. My mum walked in once. I was playing Silent Hill because she used to buy me all these games because I was like, "Oh, can I have the game?" But she didn't actually know what they were about. So one day she walks in, she was like, "What are you playing?" I'm there like stabbing a zombie and stuff, or like a dead pig. And she's like, "What is this?" I was like, "You bought me this game." And she was like, "Well, I wouldn't have bought it if I knew." When they find out and the realization hits them.
Yeah, 100. I've got a vivid memory actually of my mum beating me on Street Fighter with her being Chun-Li, and I just
That's the cheat code.
Yeah, I did not take to that well at all. Like I hated every moment of that. What are you talking about? My brethrens come over to my yard and I beat them. That's what I do. And you play this game and you're Chun-Li and you beat me. Nah, you're not my mum now. You're not my mum now.
Chun-Li's the cheat code. When
That's
you
an
mentioned
art.
Street Fighter, my go-to was, I'm going to be Chun-Li and I'll just kick you.
Yeah, you're
And
gonna
you
just do this the
just do
spinning
kick.
bird kick.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated it, man.
It's the cheat
I
code.
hated it. But yeah, do you know what? I'd have to say, honorable shout out to my cousin Elliot. He'll probably watch this. Yeah, he was a Street Fighter guy. He was the one. He was the guy to beat. He was very, very impressive on Street Fighter. And I think playing him as much as I did probably raised my game when it came to playing everyone else.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why when my brothers were getting into playing FIFA and whatever, I was never, you can't beat me. Because the way that I looked at it is, I'm playing to win, yeah, and I'm gonna win however I'm gonna win, and you're gonna raise your game however you're gonna raise it, so that when you play your little brethrens, your level's up.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? If I come down a level and then you're just beating me in that, then how do you get any better then? You're not gonna get any better, because then you're gonna play against your brethrens, and then some of them are just gonna beat you. But if I beat you convincingly a bunch of times, you're gonna try to get better at that game, which means as you get better at the game, you'll be better than them.
Yeah.
And then the moment that he got good at the game, I stopped playing him.
Because he needs to move up to the next person.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, look, I'm not the greatest loser. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the greatest loser, especially if you got chat.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? I can lose. Like, say if me and you are playing a game, right, and you beat me, I'm cool with the beating, providing that like you handle the win a certain way.
Okay, so if someone wins, yeah, and they're really loud and arrogant about it.
I got to find a game for me to beat you at. And then once I do that, I'm giving you the same slice with extra seasoning.
Yeah, I'm a bad loser as well. Because I just accuse the other person of cheating.
Oh, do
Like
you?
if I lose, there's not a reason that I'm bad. Like it must be because something has gone on. It's foul play.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm just not great at it. And like, I'm sure this will come up in conversation, but I was playing NBA 2K20 during lockdown.
During lockdown, yeah.
And I got addicted to it. Like I absolutely
I remember you tweeting about it actually.
Huh?
I remember you tweeting about it.
Yeah. I like that. Literally, I got so addicted to the game that I had to start putting timers on how long I was playing it. So like I would say, all right, cool, I'm gonna play between maybe 11 at night until maybe 1 in the morning, maybe 2. Because and then after that, like once we get close to that point, once we get to a certain game or whatever, then I would just stop. Or if I was playing with my friends or whatever, then I would just stop at a certain time. Prior to that, I would go on until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning at times. Yeah, It was like that. But so imagine, yeah, one time, obviously, you know, you play all of these games, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? And then you win like the championship, and then you play like for the NBA championship, yeah? So anyway, I've got to that bit and I'm like, well, like I have to win. I couldn't have played all of these games and not...
To not win,
yeah. So anyway now, as I'm playing it, they are on smoke. And I'm like, nah. So, hands up, I turned the game off and I started it again.
I think I remember you tweeting about this.
Yeah.
Didn't you do it a few times?
I did it a
'Cause you
couple
were
of-
like, I get to the last bit and I can't win the NBA.
Yeah.
part.
It was like that. It was like I turned it off enough because I knew from when I turned it off, I'd be starting that game again, not the whole thing, just that game. Come back again, and then I got so. When I tell you, I was like literally, fourth quarter, I might have been about 4 points behind. So, and I was getting there. Just as I realized, like, nah, this is not going to happen. I turned it off again. I thought, nah, I'm winning this. I need to know what it is like. I can't play this amount of games to get here and lose.
Yeah.
Then, like, played for the third time, and then they just smoked me so much. I just handled the smoking, innit? But that just made me determined to go through all of the games again in the next season, and then come back and win, which I did do.
Did you do that? Okay, that's good.
That, yeah.
Because I think that was a period because it was free during lockdown. I remember they made the game free, so everyone downloaded it.
Yeah.
And I was terrible at first. I didn't know what was going on, didn't know the controls. And then something clicked and I was fine. Like I was getting good results. And then when 2K21 came around, I didn't have time to do it as much. And I regret it because I feel like now I've lost my skill level.
I think you was one of the people that put me off getting that one, actually.
I think I put quite a few people on because I remember Flips as well.
No, you put me off getting
put it off.
2K21. And I think it was because I'm sure you said that there wasn't much. Yeah, it was you.
Oh God, no, what did I do?
Sorry if you're going to lose a sponsorship here, by the way, but I have to say this. Yeah. Els put me off getting 2K21. Yeah. And the reason being is because you said that there wasn't much of the what was it? Like the game, you know, when you're doing the character mode and whatever.
Yeah.
And you get to do all of these different things or whatnot. Like you get to do the adverts, you get to go out and do all of these things. The story wasn't as a big thing. And I'm sure you mentioned that. And I was like, you know what? I loved the story. Like I loved it. I loved it. Of course it was the game, but I did love the story. I loved doing the adverts. I loved doing you know, like the conference, like just all the things that it had.
I remember it changed with 2K20. There was the big. I remember the story, and I think LeBron James did the 2K21. I can't remember 21. Can't remember. And then it did change a little bit, but I think it was to do with the PlayStation 5 coming out, and they were waiting for the PS5 version.
Right. Okay.
And then they built it up that way.
Right.
I do remember that though.
So,
but I still played it, and have you played the new one as well?
No. So what's the story like on that?
I haven't gone through the story because then I just skipped through.
Okay. I'll have a look at that still. But that was one of the things that's what really got me into that. Mm-hmm. And I think that was probably one of the reasons why I didn't really jump back into FIFA, because when I was playing that and you had the story and all of these things. The
city, the neighborhood, loved it all.
All of that.
Yeah,
Literally all of that, yeah. When I'm saying to people, see with FIFA, I'm asking them like, is it the same thing? And they're like, nah. And I'm like, of course I want to play the game, of course, but like to add the extra excitement, the story sucks me in.
Yeah.
So that's why I never jumped back into FIFA so much like that. But the NBA game, I loved it. That's like a good memory for me, actually.
Yeah, it's a good lockdown.
Do you know what as well, actually? That game actually made me appreciate watching the actual game even more.
It helped me learn it.
Absolutely, 100%. Because also it's like, I've been to bare basketball games before, like enough times when I've gone to the States and whatever, I've gone to games or whatever. Mm-hmm. And from an ignorant perspective, as much as I've enjoyed it, essentially all I'm seeing is, at that time, someone just running over and then just trying to just score, yeah? Of course, that's the game. But then when I was playing the game and I started learning these gameplays and that, and I'm getting my man to run over here and I'm getting this one to block off that one, I'm like, oh, wait, this is what happens in real life.
Yeah.
So then when I started to learn these things, when I started to watch the game, I started to see it more, which then made me appreciate that. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that was sick.
It helped me learn about the positions as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you're doing the career, you pick your own position, but then you have to learn the pros and cons to each position.
Exactly.
And things.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it was sick.
So I have, I basically, when people come on this podcast, I put loads of notes. I have pages and pages of notes, but with you, I literally was just like, I know we can talk forever.
Yeah.
We could just talk about one thing. So I've got some gaming topics that we're going to discuss. So it's not to do with like our favorite games or anything like this, but it's more like scenarios in life that involve gaming. So we're going to kind of share our thoughts on them. So the first one is, do you remember when the PlayStation 5 dropped?
Mm-hmm.
Well, around the time it was dropping and everyone was getting excited, and there was all these memes about, I'm not going to generalize and just say it was girls, but like girlfriends or girls that were seeing guys being like, I'm going to buy him a PS5 and I'm wifey material because of that. But it's like, are you even with, is that your boyfriend? Like, are you actually going to buy someone who's not your boyfriend a PS5? My question is, if you were seeing a girl, you've been on like 2 dates, it's not serious, and she bought you a whole PS5, would you like it, or are you a bit like, that's too much?
Okay, see, for me, these things are all big context. Like, if I met her, so there's been times where like I've gone on a date, and bearing in mind that when I've gone on a date, sorry, I know I can't explain things short.
It's fine.
Right. So, enough times when I've gone on a date, prior to going on a date, we've talked quite a lot. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm like that, yeah.
Court joke, text a lot.
I need to know that it's not going to waste my time
right.
on the date.
Yeah. And you know what? I guess I don't, maybe that's for you more so, or maybe that might even be sometimes for on the woman's perspective. But for me, I actually just enjoy talking to people when we click. When we don't click, then it's no
you
point.
know as well.
But when I feel like we're clicking a bit or whatever, and we're getting to know each other, I really enjoy that bit. So boom, we're talking whatnot, and then eventually we'll meet up and we'll think. So on the first date now, there's been times where it's gone super sick, and then the second date has just gone even more sick. So and then I've liked her, and then I thought in my head, you know what? I started thinking in my head, maybe this could be the vibes. Maybe. So if she would have then bought me that, I would have thought it was like, a lot.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was a lot still. Yeah. Because I'd have been thinking in my head, so what does that make? So what, now have I got to get the loo? What have I got to do? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what have I got to do? But because I like her and because I'm already thinking in my head, what could this be? I think I would probably really be so appreciative of this. But I would also have some concerns. Again, like what does she do for a living? Like, what is her financial? If I'm gonna make an assumption, what is her financial status? Like, if she has a super sort of, and I say this respectfully, like an average sort of job. Do you know what I mean? And she's like gone out of her way to really make this happen like that.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, because I'll be like, I'm so happy that you have thought about me like this. But you really did not need to do that. Yeah, I'd feel, definitely. Because I know what it's like to have to, really dip in and buy something like that. But if she's just got it like that, then I'd appreciate it the same way, but I would look at it differently. Because it's like, okay, cool. She's just like, she's just up. She's got the thing, whatever. Okay, thanks. Like, now as a man, I do probably feel like I need to show some level of appreciation in the same way.
Yeah, you feel like you have to give something back.
Yeah, and that is not good, by the way.
No, I think now that you've put the context on it, I get it. Because if I had been on a date with a guy and we've been talking loads beforehand and I kind of know that I have feelings for them anyway, or I'm at least like excited about the whole thing, then I wouldn't find it creepy. I'd be like, oh, that's really nice. But imagine if it's a girl that like you're not serious about, you kind of just see like when you want to have sex, basically.
Yeah. If I wanted to just chop, and that was just the vibes, and then she's come to me with a whole PlayStation and that, I would just be like, but prior to the chop, then I would be like, yeah, this is a lot still. If she bought, I'll be honest though, if we've gone out on a couple of dates, whatever, then I've chopped, and then she's got me the PlayStation, I know I did my thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because obviously now, she's like, she's had such a great time, whatever it is now, boom, boom, boom. She just wants to spend some money on man. I'm here for that. But I would still be like, babes, honestly, you don't need to. And I think that I would probably try to find a way to sort of let her know where I'm at with us. Just so that we don't get ahead of ourselves here. Do you get what I'm saying? So then that would make things a lot more easier for me.
I think if I was a guy I was unsure about and he done that,
you'd think he was mad creepy.
I think I'd get the ick.
Yeah,
the girl.
definitely.
Do guys get the ick?
Absolutely.
Would that give you the
100%.
ick then?
Again, it just depends. If I wasn't really checking for her like that, yeah, it would give me the ick a little bit. My thing is this year is that like someone can do. It's just about whether you like them enough.
Yeah.
In life, it's just about, do I like you enough? If I don't like you enough, the chances are it's probably going to give me the ick. It really could.
Yeah.
But do you know what? That same thing that's given me the ick, if I like them enough, it's not going to give me the ick. Do you get me?
It's so true because like I get the ick from nearly everything. Like I'm very fussy. This is why I'm always single. I'm so fussy. However, I just feel like with my exes or whatever, I've probably let them get away with loads of stuff that like people would give me the ick for normally.
Right.
But because I already like them, it's kind of just like, well, you can do whatever now. I like you.
Okay, so basically,
if I like
once they get to that part,
yeah,
then they can get away with a bunch of.
They could get away with everything.
But prior to that, it's just constant icks.
I find it so hard to get past that stage.
Where do you think that comes from? Is it because of, say, like when you've been in a situation from before, really like someone, and they've done a whole bunch of things that essentially they've got away with? Are you hypersensitive to that then? Just now that you're out of it, just meeting people?
Yeah,
Right.
I think I just hate everyone. I don't hate them, but I just think I'm fine by myself. Why do I need someone? I could do everything for myself now.
Yeah, but you can't, like, companionship is.
I know that. But I now, especially lockdown didn't help because I live by myself.
Right.
So I've spent the past 2 years. I'm perfectly happy just sitting in my flat by myself now.
Do you know, I'm quite like, I'm a person, I don't need anyone. Yeah. So if I have someone, it's because I want them to be around, which I think is a good place to be. But I think my dad has always been sort of the same too. So my mum and dad split up when I was super young, whatever, and I got a great relationship with them. They get on really well with each other. But I always remember my dad saying, like, he lives alone. He's lived alone for a long time. Like, he's raised my brothers and whatever. And like, I always remember him saying to me one time, you know what? Like, if he was gonna if he was gonna be in a relationship with someone, then he would have to go and move with them, but still have to have his own place just in case.
Yeah.
But he was like, see, for him, he goes to me, this is exactly what he said. Sorry, Dad. The remote control was here, yeah? And he said to me, son, you know what it is, yeah? When I get home, let me just pull it in. He goes, you see when I'm out, yeah, my remote control's here. And you see when I come back, I want my remote control here. So that's his way of saying, I just need to live on my own because I don't want no inconvenience of. And I'm like, I hear it still, but Dad, it's all right if the remote control's over there. You know what I mean? Someone knows where the remote control is. You can bring it back. And if you have a companionship with someone, then it becomes very different. But I think when you become accustomed to being by yourself, like I have too, it is very difficult to like. It's very difficult
break
to
out of it.
Yeah, man, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
Very
I also panic when I catch feelings or whatever.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm so bad because I'm so anti like emotion. But as soon as I catch feelings, I'm like I go from one extreme to the other, and I hate. I don't know how to deal with it.
You see,
so
when
I just
you say
avoid
anti-emotion, yeah. Is this?
Is this
Okay,
a therapy session, guys?
not-
this is a gaming.
I'm sorry, I know it's a
podcast, and
gaming
here
show,
we
but
are.
we'll change in a bit. But I see this like anti-emotions thing, yeah. Is it like? How do I say this respectfully? Is it like fake anti-emotions? Like, and what I mean by that is like this thing of you're doing your best to not be to show emotion, when in fact in your heart and soul you feel loads of emotions.
Yeah.
Or do you actually just like genuinely just don't feel emotions?
No,
like
it's all an act.
Right.
I think that's obvious though, because I'm like very caring person, but I think my whole thing is get away from me.
So are you not like limiting yourself? Because like you are like limiting yourself from being free.
No, because whenever I can't believe that this conversation's gone this way. Anyway, whenever I have tried that, then I'd end up just getting hurt, I guess. So that's why I don't do it.
I hear that, but not everyone's gonna hurt you though. Anyway, sorry.
Back to
We'll
gaming.
do this on my pod.
These are like
We'll do this on my pod, yeah?
more or less. These are
Okay.
like relationship questions. Okay. Do men use gaming as an excuse when they're cheating? So, like, for example, you're texting someone, and so I'm texting someone, and then they don't reply all night, and then they text me in the morning. Oh, sorry, I was just up late playing FIFA.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can't say that because I'm not like when I started playing games again. Like I went a long period of time of like not playing anything, and then I started game more, which obviously lockdown and stuff like that. So I didn't like. I had a connection with somebody, but I didn't need to do that. But I could easily assume that people would do that because it's a great excuse. It's a great one. If you already know, this is what the setup is. The setup is this basically. You're talking on your phone to Babes or whatever. Babes is asking you like, what are you doing? Oh, this is nuts, but this is just going from my head now, yeah? So we're talking on the phone. Babes, what are you up to? She's telling me what she's up to, whatever. And we're just catching some joke, having the little vibes, boom, 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 boom. And then she asked me what I'm doing. Oh, I'm just playing NBA 2K or whatever. And then like, as we're talking and that, sometimes I'm like drifting in and out of the conversation. Chucks, are you listening to me? Yes, I am, babe. Sorry, I was just I'm just trying to get this. Cool. So you already know that when I'm playing the game, I'm hella focused now, innit? Yeah. So then now, I could easily assume that someone would then use that as a thing of, babes, like you already know when I'm playing the game, I'm locked in. Do you get me? Like I'm locked in. So I was playing the game all night. Are you alright? Is everything okay? This is why the life is a bit messed up because like these things happen in it. But I can't think about that too much because I'm sure women do these type of things too. Oh, like, sorry, I was just doing Samantha's hair. Do you get what I'm saying? Something like that. It's like all of these little things. But if I think about it too much, it will drive me crazy and then I'll just have mad trust issues and stuff. But yeah, I think so. I think people do.
I think they do as well.
Yeah, I think they do. I think gamers, see like proper gamers as well, definitely them. Because you are, of course they're gaming. That's your assumption. Of course they're gaming. I can't get hold of you. It's fine. Of course you're gaming. Yeah, you was playing the game all night and stuff. Fine. Yeah, of course. Like whatever. You're just not going to think any different from it until one day you find out that maybe they wasn't cheating, but they wasn't gaming though.
Or they were out and someone saw them out like, oh,
yeah,
so and so out.
Right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all it takes is one thing. But yeah, I think so.
I think so too. I also think that, you know, social media, I upload on my story a lot. And a lot of people do. So when you see other people uploading, you think that you know what they're doing 24 hours of the day. Yeah. And then it's like, well, actually, you have no idea, like, from the hours of 10 p.m. to 10 a.m.
Right.
Like, what's really going on? Because I think, like, sometimes maybe if you like someone, you'll watch their story all the time. You'll be like, oh, this is what they were doing at 10 p.m. last night. Like, they were in another house watching TV. Cool, yeah, they were, but they could have been doing anything else for the rest of the night.
Right. And also, as well, yeah, because I used to think this sometimes too. You might have someone who's like a proper tweeter. All day they're tweeting. All night they're tweeting. Friday at 10 p.m. it all stops. And it's like, yeah, of course you might have been out with your girls or you might. But like, because you're tweeting all day. You're tweeting all day or you're showing your life all day. Every day. But Friday and Saturday night, you didn't. But usually on a Friday, Saturday night when you're with your girls, you still show it. Because you do that whole thing of the drinks and that and the whatever else in the toilet and boom, 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 boom. So this time you was out with the girls, but there was no snaps today. Do you get what I'm saying? There was no tweet. Like, it's all a game. And sometimes some people play the game knowing what they're doing.
I know.
I know that this person did me a certain way, but that person still watches my story. So we're gonna indirectly. Have you ever done that?
Are you talking about like when you post and you're in the car and you get like someone's arm shot? Yeah. I've never done that.
Or like, because I feel like,
but if I'm out, like I've been out and been like, oh no, they're gonna see this and probably think like, what's she doing out?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you? Because like I feel like Elz might have like one day like posted the Lamborghini sign
I've never
to let
done
man know.
Chuckie, I've never done that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Elz is there now, and you can see that. You know when you do that one when you're in the car, yeah, in the Rolls Royce, right?
Oh,
You
with
know
the
my man's
with the
watching your
Rolls-
story, by the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know someone that like the guy that might have done you a certain wrong or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's watching the story. So then one day you're just in the car like that.
No.
So you can see
I haven't
that's
done.
you, innit?
Do you know? I've never done that to make a guy jealous. But once years ago, my friend had the Rolls Royce for her birthday, so I took a snap, and I was like, "Oh, I'm like getting the sign in, kind of like taking the mic."
Oh,
type of thing.
okay.
But no, I've never done something like that because I feel like I'm not really into like materialistic stuff like that anyway. So it just would
Right.
look. And also, I think all my exes are the same, so they probably wouldn't get jealous about something like that. But I think I probably. If I'm out and I want to look nice, or I'll dress up just to like make them think, what's she doing?
What's she doing? Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair.
Play
I've
the game.
definitely been like the guy a couple of times where like a girl has posted a thing and had like part of my body in it or whatever, just to get. And I know it's to get at whoever else it is to get at, but you know, like the phone's just a tad bit too high.
Yeah, they want to get that.
You want to get a tad something in. Do you get what I'm saying? But look, the game is the game, innit?
The game is the game.
Yeah.
There's one question and I've always wanted to know, because as someone who like I love gaming, I'm quite good at some games, so naturally I would beat people. Do you find it, so if, for example, if you were dating someone, a girl, and they beat you at FIFA or Street Fighter or NBA 2K, would you feel a way about that? If they weren't a gamer or anything, they just kind of
If they weren't a gamer,
they picked up the controller
and they just got good at it, like just
Yeah.
one time. Today, yeah, it would touch me. It would touch me. It would touch me. Yeah, it would touch me.
Would it put
touch
you
me.
off her though?
No,
Okay.
but it would touch me even more if she was loud about it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if she beat me and she did not, and she was not trying to let me live it down, then it would be a problem for me only because, and this would just be my problem. My problem would be that now I'm trying to find things to beat her at so that I can do that. And also my problem would be that like, I can't control the feeling that I get once I've lost that, you know, that I'm trying to win now. She's beat me. I know what's coming. She's going to wind me up. And it's like, I'm having to act like I'm taking the defeat gracefully. But inside, you know, when you get that feeling in here in the stomach and that and all in the, like, you know, that feeling, I can't explain it, but it's something's happening inside.
Like anxious.
Yes, the anxiousy, like that. Like all of these would end up just being a problem for me, which then like I would maybe just do things that I shouldn't particularly do.
See, I am a loud winner, so I sometimes wonder if because I'll beat like my exes or whatever when we're playing. And I sometimes think, do you feel a way about me beating you and then being really rude about it? Because
So
I'm like that. My banter is to take the piss.
That would touch me.
Yeah.
So if you beat me now, and you're just like this on this arrogant thing,
I'll
of
tell
like,
your friends
if you're
as well,
kicking back and you're just like, you feel a way about that, don't you? What? Don't talk to me like that.
I'll do that, and then I'll go and tell your friends that I beat you as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, then that's fine then, because then you know what? Just know that when it's my time to win, oh my God, when it's my time to win, the sauce and the seasoning on my winning, it's different.
What's worse then? Someone beating you, like me beating you and being really loud about it, or me letting you win?
No, don't let me win. No, don't let me win. Because if you let me win, and you talk about that as well, nah, that's emasculating. That's emasculating. What are you talking about? You just, oh yeah, but you're not that good, you know. I let you win. I let you win. You know I could beat you, innit? I just let you win. And then, obviously, I start hyping off my mouth now. And then I said, all right, then cool, come, let's play it. And then you actually beat me. See, I told you, I let you win. Nah. But I'd rather you just play the game to play the game to win.
Proper.
So I don't want you to let me win.
Right, is it possible to find love when you're gaming online. So, for example, you go into Call of Duty and, you know, you get put in a team of 4 and you're on the voice. You hear someone's voice and you're like, oh, that's like, you've got a really nice voice. And you start chatting. Do you think it's possible to find love?
Do you know what that's kind of like? I don't want to take it away from the gaming so much, so I'll bring it back. But it's kind of like when, like back in the day on pirate radio, yeah, you'd have someone, like this is how pirate radio used to work, folks. So sometimes people would just send a text or whatever, or they would drop call you, and then you would say the last 3 digits. So you'd be like, hang tight to 451, shout out to 658 or whatever. But then like when you're on pirate radio, you would tend that like there would always be someone that would constantly call in all the time because they liked your set. Yeah. And so like then you would hear the voice, and then like, oh, you would know it was whoever because they're just familiar to, like, they always ring you at that time. And then you start finding yourself being attracted to the voice and whatever, and that person likes you because you're on the radio, and then you start building something off that. That obviously gets techie because when you end up meeting each other, it becomes a whole, it could become a whole...
Yeah, it could go one way or the other.
It could be an absolute madness. But you see with the gaming, where it's different, and the reason why I think it probably could happen is because within the game, yeah, you're hearing each other's voice and stuff like that. But also you can kind of like take it somewhere else where you can actually see each other and talk, yeah? And I think that the reason why you could maybe even really fall for someone in that is because you have something in common, strongly in common with the game. You've taken it somewhere else where you're still in the game, talking to each other and seeing each other. And if you both have a real common, strong interest with gaming and like have these different perspectives on how you see gaming and all this different type of stuff, then yeah, I could easily see how someone could then fall for someone after that. And then it's just all about meeting them and hoping that there's that attraction translates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think depending on how strong that that connection is with the gaming, then meeting each other and seeing each other through whatever it is online or whatnot, yeah. Depending on how strong it is, even when you meet each other and it's not really what you sort of expected, I think that that other part could be strong enough to kind of keep it there. But if it's not, then
it's kind of like Love is Blind. Have you ever watched it?
Yeah, I loved Love is Blind.
I think it's sad when they have this really good connection and then when they see each other in person, the physical attraction's not there and it all just goes to shit.
Well, we would all like to believe that physical attraction means nothing, but it means something.
It does.
It means something, like massively as well. But I think that it is also to a point as well, yeah. So it's like you could be not necessarily, or someone could not necessarily be your type, but there's something really attractive about them still, and on top of that, they're just a wicked time. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you meet someone or you're talking to someone and you're having a wicked time on the phone or whatever, and you meet them, but there's just literally there's no chemistry, physical chemistry at all, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
I always think that. I always believe that physical attraction plays a massive part because I have loads of people that I have stuff in common with that I'm kind of like, you know, when you start questioning, you're like, oh, could this be anything more? And then it just never is. Yeah. And it's because you're not physically attracted to them. Maybe if you were, then it could work.
Yeah.
But
the type thing, because again, it's like, even with the gaming, it's like you have something so in common. You've taken this thing somewhere else online and you've spoken about many other things, and like you've got a lot of different things in common. You're having these really good conversations. You're having a lot of fun. And then you meet someone, yeah, whatever your type is, that person could be a little bit off it, but it could still work. Do you get what I'm saying? But if they're just completely off it, then yeah. And I think it's also the same the other way around. So you can meet someone that is proper, like, physically whatever your type is, yeah. But then you meet them and there's nothing to them, and it's like it's about balance, isn't it? Yeah. Everything is about balance.
And they say it's the 80-20 rule.
What's 80?
So that 80 is 80 should be like things you're genuinely interested in, or like your personalities and how well they get along, and then the 20 is like what you lust over.
Right.
So they say to prioritize the 80, and most people prioritize the 20 and then neglect the 80, and that's why it doesn't work.
That's why it doesn't work. Yeah. The balance is just mad and way off. But yeah, man, I definitely think that it can work.
I met someone that met their husband on
really
a voice
online
chat on Call of Duty. I was doing a campaign a few years ago, and she was like, yeah, my husband, we met on voice chat on Call of Duty. They had mutual friends, and they just set them all up in a party, and then they started going off and playing by themselves, and were just like
Sick.
Gaming and talking, and then eventually they met up.
So what is it like in their house? Do they live together now? Obviously they do. They're married.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask like that much questions, but I know they're married.
That's sick. I wonder like what their house setup is like. Like, do they have like a gaming room in the house? And if they do have a gaming room, do they both have their own little setup in there? Or do they have like 2 gaming rooms in the house where like sometimes they might, like to just be in different rooms and then sometimes still play each other or whatever? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you mean.
That's kind of sick.
If I like met someone that were a gamer, I think we'd have a joint gaming room. I see a lot of like couples who are streamers or whatever, they have a joint gaming room and they just like stream together all the time. So
what if you're in one side and you're both streaming and that, and you're just doing you're both just talking, you're playing different games and that, and just doing a hell of talking, ain't that kind of distracting?
I guess that wouldn't work, but if you're on the same stream or something, then it would work.
Well, I guess if you got headphones and that on anyway, more time, like obviously it's the people that's hearing you that is hearing someone else.
True.
But yeah, I like that, I like that.
Power couple.
Yeah,
gaming power couple.
I don't know if I could ever like, could I be with like someone who kind of is like does the same.
I think this all the time.
Could I? What does that look like?
So what are you saying? You dating a podcaster or someone that is really good at conversation and things like that?
I mean, being with someone that is like good at conversation is great for me. Being a podcaster, I don't know. It would have to be someone that wasn't. I don't want to say have to be, because obviously life is just life and anything can happen, yeah. But I think ideally it wouldn't be someone that is already in and around the circle like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't know.
Because when you're both, imagine you but then both go on your respective podcasts each week and then are just talking about your experiences. They're kind of like linking up, like the two stories that you're telling are like, okay, you've done this week. Like maybe you went on a date or something, you're just talking about your experience. And you're both just sharing your business all the time.
I think that would be difficult for me purely because I share a lot, but I'm very private about a lot as well. So I know what I want to share and I know what I don't want to share. And I don't know if I would ever get to a place where like I would want to share all of that like that. I think if she was a podcaster, maybe she's a podcaster in a completely different world. So she might be like big in like when it comes to podcasting and like what, I don't know, some other types of mad subjects, or I don't know, like I don't even know.
Just a different topic.
Just something completely different. When we get home, we can maybe talk about it or whatever. But like to kind of do it together, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Speaking of podcasts, I do this game, right, where we go through each gaming console and we compare it to something. So we've done like if games consoles were packets of crisps or chocolate bars. And I was going to do if games consoles were podcasts. So we're going to go through sort of like UK podcasts, I guess, and say which console would be which podcast.
Right.
So let's start with PlayStation 4, which is kind of new still. It's been around for a few years though. It's not like the newest model, but it was a good console.
PS4 was a really good, and because this is going to sound rude though. Because if I say, yeah, they were, but
no, but it's still relevant because no one can get hold of the PS5. Well, people can, but not everyone. So everyone's still online on PS4.
So okay, everything I'm saying is all out of respect, and it's all. I mean, obviously, no, it's not all out of respect, because if it wasn't, I would just say it still anyway. But like, still respectfully, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, so PlayStation 4 been around for a bit, still relevant. still good. I would probably say the receipts. I'd probably say the receipts. Been around for a bit, you know what I mean? Still good. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are still there. Yeah, I would probably say that.
Still playing, you can go online.
Yeah, you can see it exactly.
Yeah, I like
definitely.
that. Okay, let's do like an old school one. Let's do the Sega Mega Drive, which was my first console I ever played. I didn't have one, my auntie had it. It has Sonic on it. So it's a sick console.
Sega Mega Drive. So that is an older pod because that's what I played Sonic Hedgehog on.
Yeah.
And I love that as well. An old school podcast.
It could even be like what they talk about on the pod. It doesn't have to be like a pod that's old. Like for me, the PlayStation 2 is my favorite console ever. So I'm kind of like, well, that's my favorite.
That's true. Okay, so it doesn't have to be.
It's not about like
they could have started it last week.
Yeah, but it could still be the Sega.
That podcast, and I've actually enjoyed it as well. They're called. It's Spex's podcast, and it's called.
I went on it.
Blackburn signs Zidane.
Yes, I went on that.
Sick. Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, we did. If the Aguero moment hadn't happened at Man City.
What? That's such a sick concept.
And he just sabotaged Man City completely and made Arsenal. So apparently, if Aguero didn't like steal the title off United, then all this effects would happen, and Pep would then go to Arsenal eventually.
Oh yeah. I like that. I love that concept, by the way. But yeah, obviously from what they... Blackburn signing Zidane, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that, I mean, that says a lot because obviously they're talking about all of these old moments from back then or whatever else and whatever today. Yeah, I would probably say that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Xbox 360, which was the second Xbox. Arguably the best one, I think.
The Xbox 360.
The Xbox 360 made a lot of people cross over from PlayStation to Xbox. Like I'd always been team PlayStation. The Xbox 360 came out and I got an Xbox 360. And then I went back to PlayStation later on. So it was a good console.
Do you know what? I might, with that metaphor there, I might say my own pod.
Okay.
And do you know why? Because I think that when we came into podcasting, and I think this even happens now, is that like people come, they stay with us, especially in different countries and that. They find the pod, and then they're like, oh wow, okay, shit, this is what else is? Then they go, but then sometimes they always end up just coming back. Do you get what I'm saying? So I would say with that metaphor, I would probably say the HC pod.
I like that.
Yeah.
People may go
they come
straight,
and they're like, oh, this is sick. They enjoy it and that. It then obviously makes them think, wow, what else is there? They go and they find some other stuff that they think is cool, but enough times they end up just
for a while when they come back.
Yeah,
always come back.
I know where it is, isn't it?
I love that. Okay, PlayStation 5, the new console.
I would probably say PlayStation 5 could be wait, I've got one, but let me just think about this very quickly, PlayStation 5, and I think it has to be her, doesn't it? She's got a podcast called, is it Cocktails and Takeaways?
Okay.
Cocktails and Takeaways.
I like that.
So, yeah, I would say her podcast is PlayStation 5 because she's like the new podcaster that is like really making noise at the moment. A lot of people are going on there and stuff like that. She's holding it down on her own, and I would probably say that's kind of where the noise is at a little bit. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's like early days. Not everyone has the PS5 yet.
No.
So there's still like people are still trying to get it.
Right.
So it's a new podcast.
Right.
People
are talking about it.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying? People are talking about it. Like it's doing its thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, cocktails
I like
and
that.
takeaways.
Okay, and let's do the last one. Let's do the Game Boy. So handheld. For me, when I think of Game Boy, I think of Pokemon Red and Blue and Tetris. You had Tetris on the Game Boy.
Oh yeah, I used to love Tetris, bro.
Game Boys were so easy.
You still play that?
Yeah. What, Tetris?
Yeah.
I still play Tetris.
Is it? Yeah. Well, okay.
It was like I think it set trends for handheld consoles.
Okay, I've got one. Let me see why I think this. So, Game Boy, kind of old school. Well, it is old school to be fair. The games on there, good games in that too.
Mm-hmm.
I would say as well, yeah. So, even though Game Boy had a lot of different games, Tetris did feel like a prominent game, didn't it?
I think it's one of the best-selling games of all time, or something along those lines. Tetris is definitely.
I'm gonna go with a podcast called Off the Cuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with them because these guys are guys with experience. They are very versed in like the conversations and stuff that they have. But I think when they talk about music, they are super. They just make some very good, poignant points in that. You know what I mean? That's like they're almost like a specialist field for them, which is kind of like the Tetris. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Tetris is, although there's like many other games or whatever, and they can play. Obviously, there's a bunch of other games, but the Tetris game seems to me, for me anyway, seems to be like the game. And I think when these men are talking about music, that's when they're fully in their bag. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, man.
You played the game well. Right, to finish, we'll do a quick game of Who Am I? So basically, I'm going to think of a gaming character.
Oh, I'm not.
And you're going to trying to guess just by asking me yes/no questions. So I know who I'm thinking of it right now.
So, okay. So then I have to ask you questions.
And I can only answer yes or no.
Okay.
And you've got to try and guess from my answer.
Is it a fighting game? Is this character in a fighting game?
Yeah.
Is the gender a female?
Yeah.
Is it an old game?
Yes.
Okay. Is she in multiple games that are like of the same game, basically?
Yes.
Right. All right. Okay, cool. Is it Chung-Li?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I thought from the first, like the reason I was laughing every time I gave an answer was because from the first question when you were like, is it a fighting game? I was always going to get it straight away.
The next question I was going to ask is, does she do the spinning bird kick? Well, I thought, let me just go straight away.
And then yeah. Well, you smashed it. You didn't
Fine.
have anything to worry about.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous as
Well, I
hell.
catered to what you told me earlier on. I wasn't going to
Thanks
like
for
do a
that.
really
I thought
niche.
maybe you might have like hit me with one of the flipping something in, I don't know, wherever else. By the way, I had a moment where I liked playing Sims, by the way.
You've just
I was
gone
doing
really
one
up
of
in
the
my
roller
books.
coaster ones. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. But I
love The
never
Sims.
went back onto it again.
Oh, no. Sims is good, you know.
Yeah.
You
Why
can
don't
get all
people
these
talk about it
mods. While I talk about it, I'm an advocate for The Sims. You can get these mods, where people have just created mods for the game to change the gameplay. You can do a madness on these mods. So there's one where I can be like, you can be a pole dancer and you
Is
like
it?
twerk for money and stuff.
Serious?
Yeah. And then I have this other one called Life's Tragedies where like your sim could be walking along and randomly the game just starts a tragedy. So like your house will go on fire or you get hit by a car.
And then what have you got to do?
You die.
You just what?
My sim died. I was gardening and a car just came out of nowhere and killed her. The game was done.
God. And that's it. The game's done.
The game was done. I was so
Can you not
upset.
like do a Final Destination thing and just like somehow manage to, you know, the car comes and you just trip on a stone at the same time or a banana skin and you just...
No, what I had to do was go into the files of the game. And luckily I know how to do this because obviously like I'm a computer geek. And I found the save file from before she got hit by the car and I deleted the most recent one. So then when I logged back on... Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's tragic.
Yeah, that's nuts. Well, you know what? I think after today now, I think I might turn back on the
console.
The console, and I think I might dive back into NBA though. To be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you know what? I might give one of them American football games a go. Actually, you know, because
Madden.
Yeah, Madden. The reason being, is because I did some work for the NFL, which was proper sick, by the way. And the concept of the game was so sick. It was me two other guys, OC and Jason, who's actually played in the NFL. Yeah, they were hosting it with me, and so it was split into two parts. They take me into their world, and I take them into mine. So in their world, we'd get an artist, we'd go out on the field,
Yeah.
and then the artist would then have to learn how to catch, kick, was it catch, kick? I can't even remember what the other one was. It was 3 things anyway, yeah. And so then they would say like what was good about it, what they were supposed to do, like what sort of position they felt that they could play in, and whatever else, yeah. Back Row G did it, and he was actually quite good. But there was this other kid that we couldn't even use, yeah. His name's called D9 or something like that. I hope I didn't said your name wrong, bro. Sorry. He's like a young drill rapper, yeah. I wasn't too familiar with him at the time, but when I tell you, this kid was so sick. Like, oh yeah, and throw. That's it.
What? And he just knew how to play.
You know, like you get them people, yeah, who they come and they're just like
He's just good at everything.
They're just good, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was young. He just seemed unenthusiastic, yeah. And he was just like, he just got it and was like, yeah, okay, yeah, throw it. Basically, he threw it quite far and was like, what? So then he had to keep doing it until like obviously just get as far as he could. When I tell you this man damn near threw the ball from one side to the other side, yeah. Then catching it, he was amazing at catching it, and kicking it, he was just so sick at kicking it, but we couldn't use it because he didn't have his balaclava on, and like it was the whole thing.
Oh.
But so anyway, they were in that. I was learning a lot about the games, the positioning, and all of that type of stuff, and then. The next part of it was we recorded a podcast with different artists, and we would just talk to them about like, you know, where they come from and all of these things, because these lot they don't really know much about like some of the rappers and the singers that we have here now. But it was so sick, which then made me think, you know what? Maybe I should play that. And I've been watching I Am Athlete podcast a lot. So as I'm hearing them talking about the game, it's making me more like intrigued about it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the best way for me to really, really understand it is by playing the game.
I've played it a few times. It's quite good.
Is it, yeah?
I think if I knew more about American football, it would help.
Yeah.
But I think it's like NBA 2K. It will help you learn more about the sport.
Absolutely, yeah.
So go and play
and
it.
the actual, like going, I don't know, have you been to a game?
I went to Super Bowl, didn't I?
Oh yeah, of course you did. You went a whole Super Bowl. Oh,
For that halftime show as well.
Oh yeah, so you saw it with 50 hanging and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was the best. Honestly, the best thing I've seen.
Oh mate, yeah.
I know. And I went to. I've been to 2 games in London as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One at Tottenham and one at Wembley.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So,
fair.
Yeah, I need to learn. But thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I
love
appreciate
this.
it.
If you've enjoyed what Chuckie talks about, go and listen to the HC pod.
Yeah, man. Come on, and whatever else.
I hope you'll take these gaming conversations and have them, because I want to know when you're chatting with the boys, like if guys use gaming as a reason to cheat.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, we've talked about many of that. I will continue to do that still, but yeah, you'll hear some of the codes and stuff. That, yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you everyone for listening as well, and I will see you next time.